after we left our home port in Windsor, Ontario, and then sailing through Lake Erie and the Erie Canal, we headed down the Hudson River to Hoppenos Marina in Catskill, New York to get our mast stepped before we sailed on to New York City and the East Coast. Overlooking the Hudson River, we sail past the impressive U.S. Military Academy West Point, which was originally built as a fort in the late 1700s. It is the oldest continually operating Army post in the U.S., and it's been a military academy for training since 1802. After a full day on the river, we reached our planned anchorage in Haverstraw Bay just after dusk. The rain had held off all afternoon until we pulled into the anchorage, and then it started pouring, which made anchoring a lot of fun. Usually we won't arrive to a new location in the dark. However, we did receive tips from other cruisers that this bay was safe and easy to enter at any time. So we had a good night here and would recommend this anchorage. We woke up to a beautiful sunny morning and had a really good trip down to New York City. Even though we've been to New York City in the past, we wanted to see the city again, so we took a mooring ball at Dyckman Landing Marina. It's run by the New York City Parks and Rec Department, and it's near George Washington Bridge with beautiful views of the bridge. With New York and New Jersey both charging between $6 and $7 a foot for marinas, we thought the $40 a night here at Dyckman Landing was very reasonable. We got underway bright and early in the morning, heading to New York City. We were expecting it would be less boat traffic in the morning, although I'm not sure that worked out because you can see here from the Navionics charts that there's AIS targets everywhere. You can't tell in the video and pictures, but there were ferries flying past us at high speed at left and right, and it was pretty overwhelming. There were a lot of helicopters around, something else we're not used to. Not sure if it was tourism or business people going to meetings, as this was a Friday morning. took a mooring ball at Atlantic Highlands Yacht Club, which is in New Jersey, as we prepared for our first ever Atlantic Ocean trip. You can anchor here as well, and this is a really popular spot to stage to get ready for the Atlantic trip down the New Jersey coast. Most boats have to do the ocean crossing here because to do the inside New Jersey intercoastal, it's very shallow. We pulled into Barnegat Inlet, even though that was not our original plan. We had originally planned to go all night and sail to the Delaware Bay. However, the wind started to clock on the nose and it was uncomfortable. We weren't making good miles. We know that a lot of people say this is not a great inlet. However, we called Towboat US to get some local knowledge, and they gave us some really good tips on how to stick to the starboard side when we came in. There's also some fishermen coming in. When we pulled in, we could follow them. We didn't have any issues, and the anchorage was really good here. In typical fashion for us, we pulled into Atlantic City without a plan. We originally were going to bypass this, but since we had never been here before, at least I hadn't, we thought, why not? Let's see it. So we pulled in and stayed the night. We were able to they have a bus that brings you anywhere you want to go. They have great transportation here. These jitney buses brought us to the boardwalk, and we walked through the boardwalk. It was not crowded. A lot of things were closed, but we enjoyed our time anyway. We got underway early in the morning to leave Atlantic City and head down the coast to Delaware Bay. While we were sailing, we were visited by whales. We were so surprised to see them that we did not get any pictures. They're juvenile humpback whales. The New Jersey coast is their feeding grounds, and even though their population is increasing, they're still listed as endangered in the state of New Jersey. Our whale visitors were juveniles, so they were not bigger than 40 feet, but the adults can be up to 52 feet long, and they live for up to 48 years. After rounding Cape May, we pulled into the anchorage at Cape Henlopen for some rest before pulling anchor up at 4 a.m. to ride the favorable tides up the Delaware Bay. After an excellent day of sailing on the bay, which saw us reaching speeds of 6.5 knots, which is fast for us, we entered the C&D Canal. This is the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal, which connects the Chesapeake Bay with the Delaware River. The C&D Canal is 14 miles long and 35 feet deep. It was completed in 1829, and it reduces the nautical route from Philadelphia to Baltimore by almost 300 miles. And it's therefore important to commercial shipping. We pulled into Chesapeake City, which is a small town along the C&D Canal. The town was actually separated into two sections when the C&D Canal was built right through the middle of town. There's a huge bridge that connects the two sides of the town, and it has to be tall enough for supertankers to pass beneath it. Join us next time as we sail through the Chesapeake Bay.